All right, welcome to this lesson here where we're going to be taking a look at dividing a polynomial by a term. Okay, so we're just going to do a simple polynomial by a term, and we want to get started with some of the basics. This is from a previous lesson that we've done, but going through just dividing and a little reminder about how we divide terms. So you'll notice we have this one here where we have 16cd squared divided by 2dc. Now, at this point, I would love it if you would to pause the video and try to solve this one on your own, and then turn it back on or unpause it when you have the answer, and then we'll see how you've done. Okay, so let's now try to solve it here. So when we see this kind of question, we have to understand that we're going to start by dividing the number, okay, which we call the coefficient, and 16 divided by 2 is 8. Okay, so we just take the numbers and we divide them, always left to right. So in this case here, it's a big number divided by a smaller one, so we're going to get like a nicer number, but we could get fractions as well. That could happen with a coefficient as well. Next, we need to divide our variables. Now, we have CD squared and DC. What that means is, based on our exponent laws that we have done, we need to subtract 1D and 1C away from the first one there. So CD squared, subtract a D and subtract a C, and we're left with just a single D. So our answer then, and when we simplify this in division, is 8D, and that's our answer. Okay, and that's where we're gonna stop it at. Let's try another one. Okay, so here's one a little bit different. We have it in more of a fractional form. Give it a shot. Try this one out. Okay, so pause the video and then unpause when you have your answer. Okay, let's try to solve this one and let's go through and do the division. So, gonna start with the number, okay, or the numbers, the coefficients. So 78 divided by 6, well, that's 13. And again, you can gladly use a calculator if you really want to for that, or you can do mental math if you're able to as well. Now we're going to look at that division piece where we're going to take each letter from the top and subtract how many we have on the bottom. So x4 divided by x squared. Well, that leaves us with x squared. Y, take away a y. It's gone, cancels it out. And z7 divided by z6 means that there's going to be one z remaining. And so our remaining pieces there are going to be x squared z. Okay, so x squared z. We put this back together and we're going to get 13x squared z. And that would be our answer. Okay, so that's how we can simplify it down. Let's step up a little bit. Let's take a look at a polynomial. Okay, so not just a term, a polynomial divided by a term. Okay, and we're going to keep it just as terms. Give this one a shot. Try it out. If you're not totally sure, that's okay. Once you have an answer or think you have an answer, unpause the video and then we'll see how you do. All right, let's try this one out here. So we have 4x minus 6 divided by 2. Now, if you followed some of my other work and other videos where we multiply these together, okay, dividing is very similar. When we divide a polynomial by a term, we have to divide every term in the polynomial by that singular term. So there are two terms on top, 4x and negative 6. 4x divided by 2 is 2x. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. Therefore, our simplified version is 2x minus 3. Okay? It's that much of just single terms. Okay, so look at all the single terms on top, divided by the single term on the bottom. Try this one out, pause the video, start it back up when you have your answer. Okay, let's give it a shot here. We have 3r squared underneath there, so we have to divide every term on top by 3r squared. Well, it's the same division principle that we looked at with terms, except now we have it 3 times instead of just once. So 3r4 divided by 3r squared, 3 divided by 3 is 1, r4 divided by r squared is r squared, and so there, that is our answer. Okay, 1r squared or just r squared. Negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4, and we're left with a single r because 3 minus 2 is 1. And finally, 6 divided by 3 is 2, and there is no r's remaining because they cancel out. 2 minus 2 is 0, so that cancels itself out. and we're left with r squared minus 4r plus 2. Did you get that? Hope so. Yeah, it'd be awesome if you did. Okay, so hopefully you did. If you didn't, let's try another one and let's give it another shot. So here's the next one we're going to do. Pause the video again. Come back when I think you have your answer. All right, let's take a look and see how we did. All right, same as the previous one. We are dividing each term on top by the term below. So we're going to divide each coefficient by -2, and we're going to take one x out of each of those terms. Okay, so we're going to just take an x out and leave the other ones there. So the first one becomes 5x. Then we get -2y, right? We just took out one x. And then we get 3z. So we have 5x minus 2y plus 3z. And that's our answer. I hope you got that one. Okay, really hope you got that one. Okay, let's try this one. It's a real big mess of letters and numbers and all sorts. Try this one out. Give it a shot. Once you have your answer, unpause the video and we'll see how you do. All right, let's check. Let's see how you've done here. So we have this mess. Yeah, it's a mess. But let's break it down individual. So we have 30x cubed y squared z8. That's one term. Yeah. And when we divide that by 6xy squared z, 30 divided by 6 is 5. X cubed divided by x is x squared. Y squared divided by y squared is nothing. It cancels out, or it's 1 technically, but it cancels out. And we're going to be left with z7. Okay, so that simplifies that one already. The second one is negative, so we'll get a negative answer. Almost all of the variables actually cancel out, and we're left with a single z in that case. And finally, the last one, we have 8x6y squared. So it looks like the z's cancel out in that case. Nice. Always nice when stuff cancels out. And so our final answer looks kind of like that, and that gives us our completion. That's the lesson on dividing. I hope that you were able to practice. I hope that some things were starting to make a little bit of sense. Really, it's dividing terms. And as long as we can divide each term by the one on the bottom, it's great. Sometimes they won't divide evenly. We'll be left with a fractional coefficient. That is okay. That totally works. But a lot of times I've given questions that are fairly simple and everything cancels out really nice. I hope that's helped you. Thank you so much for watching. All the best as you work through your assignment.